Alright, Evie and I are back for what is going to be my first non-Destiny video. I know, don't shut it off immediately if you can avoid it. I realize that if I want to make kind of more videos a week, I'm gonna have to branch out to do more than just Destiny all the time. There's just too many games to talk about, and I feel like I would be really stretching if I was doing a daily Destiny column and a daily Destiny video at the same time. I want to do at least a couple of videos a week, so I'm going to branch out into other things. This was kind of always the plan with the channel. It's still going to be vast majority Destiny, I'm sure, but today we're talking about Cyberpunk. I might talk about Genshin Impact, which I'm playing a lot. And then down the road, Outriders, Avengers updates, all my usual things with loot and leveling and things like that. Evie, are you taking a nap? Well, if the topic of the video can't convince you to stick around, maybe Evie's presence will, as I know she has that effect. Today I wanted to talk about Cyberpunk because this is the first time that we've gotten a new patch for the game, like a truly new patch that isn't just a hotfix in the form of 1.1. What happened was about 10 days ago exactly, CDPR had this big public apology that they made from their studio head, I forget who it is, and he, said he was sorry, kind of, and sort of took responsibility, but also kind of shifted the blame a bit. But also with that apology came a roadmap, and it's a lot of blank spaces, but they did reiterate what they said in the past about how there are going to be two bigger patches in January and February, and then they said that within 10 days, the January patch would be out. That happened. They did it in 9 days. They did it yesterday. And 1.1 has not been received very well for two main reasons. The first reason, which I wrote about earlier today, is that it introduces a new, very game-breaking bug where if you were kind of early in the campaign, there's a mission where Takamura has to call you for one of the earlier missions to meet up with you, but now after 1.1, he'll call you and just sort of sit there and not say anything. This will totally bug out the mission and your game. Reloading the save doesn't fix it. You just can't progress. You can't progress anywhere, and that's a main story quest, so you're just sort of stuck. The temporary workaround right now is reloading way back to a different thing where you go to the fixer's office and talk to Takamura after that, and then skip time, and maybe you can avoid it. But in general, it's probably just best to keep waiting to play, because this is just yet another potentially game-breaking thing that can disrupt your experience. The other reason that 1.1 isn't being received that well is that it's not really the patch people were hoping for. CDPR did say that the 1.2 patch in February would be bigger than this one, and they've already said that things like the free DLC are going to be delayed, and that has also pushed back the release of the fully next-gen update for the game, which is now probably going to be in the fall. They said the second half of the year, but it's probably the fall. And because of all the fixes they have to make. And the problem with this patch is you can't, it's very hard to feel it. They fixed a lot of mission-specific bugs. I feel like they fixed some things that aren't great. I don't think you can reload saves to keep re-rolling crafting legendaries anymore to get 4 slots on them. I think they fixed that. You can still duplicate that one painting though. They did not patch that yet. And then the patch notes are oh, we did a bunch of stability things on various consoles and this and that. And I've heard mixed reports about it. Some people are saying that there's less frame dropping on their consoles. Some people are saying that texture pop-in is now somehow worse, and they're still having all sorts of issues. We have not heard anything from Sony about whether this patch is enough to make the game playable for the PSN store, because it has been banned on the PSN store as a digital sale for weeks now, and so it's not clear what the stipulation is for getting it back on the store. But this does not seem to be maybe a major enough patch to qualify for that. And the next patch is probably going to be more stuff like this. It's probably going to be more performance issues, more bugs. I mean, there's just so many bugs. And what isn't coming are all the things that people kind of really want to see. Yeah, everyone wants a stable game and stuff like that, but people want tons of quality of life, improvements for the game, whether that's recustomizing your character after you design them, whether it's, previewing clothing, more outfits, and then it's stuff past that. It's people want to see improvements to the very bad AI. I'm showcasing some gameplay footage here from my third playthrough, which is just me running around with a shotgun, blowing through enemies. I think I'm on normal difficulty, so this is not very hard at all, but you can see it's not, the enemies aren't the most smart. And that's even worse with, stealth builds. They just can never detect you. Traffic AI, there is no pretty much car AI in this game at all. So these are all things that people want to see improved, but there is no timetable for any of that. And it seems like for months that they just have to do these pretty base fixes with the game, increasing performance, squashing just thousands and thousands of bugs that the game shipped with. And that has pushed back plans for free DLC. Free DLC may contain some of the quality of life stuff we're talking about, and cut missions and things like that they didn't have time to add in beforehand. Free DLC is not like Witcher 3, Hearts of Stone. That's paid DLC that is almost certainly not coming until next year at the absolute earliest, if they still end up doing that. So in short, the launch of the game has really pushed back a lot of the core kind of changes and quality of life improvements and upgrades that people need. It has pushed back the release of the game on next-gen consoles. I know some people were just waiting entirely to play that version of the game, which at this point, honestly, I'd recommend it. I mean, I have played a lot of Cyberpunk, and it is pretty transformative on PC. It's console is fine, but on Series X, you're still just playing an upconverted version of the Xbox One X version, and compared to similar games in the genre, it can't keep up. It just doesn't look or play as good. That said, I think you can still have plenty of fun with it, but there are now, there's a game-breaking bug where you literally can't get past it, but there are plenty of other bugs, and it does seem like it's probably the best idea to just wait, unless you are just so bored and want to barrel your way through it that you don't mind dealing with all this stuff. I personally don't regret it. It allowed me to report on all these issues as they were ongoing. Evie, stop licking your paw. We have to do this every video. My viewers are going to hold you accountable. I got to put her in her cone, but that'll make her sad. She's sad anyway. Still dealing with paw issues, but she's doing okay. But yeah, so this patch is kind of a letdown for people. It's not really going to change the game meaningfully in any significant way for most people, except for the people that run into the game-breaking bug, which will destroy the game for an undisclosed period of time. I have to imagine that CDPR is going to come out with a hotfix for this pretty soon. I would just, honestly, I would not play the game until they come out with a hotfix for this, because I don't think it's worth the trouble. If you're past that quest already, maybe it's fine. I don't know what other bugs might be lurking in future quests that people just haven't even come across yet, but this is a pretty bad one, so avoid it. Probably going to have to wait at least a month, I'd say a month or 5 weeks for the 1.2 patch. It is supposed to be bigger than this. Do not know what that's going to contain. Do not think it's going to contain a lot of quality of life things, or things like AI improvements or difficulty scaling or things like that. That seems like that will be still way down the line, because they have so much work to do to fix the current version of the game. So that's where we are in Cyberpunk. You think Destiny has problems? Cyberpunk has many, many more problems, and the future of this game is very up in the air. It's sold so many copies that it's kind of a hit no matter what, which is not the best lesson for CDPR to learn, but obviously it's done some pretty bad damage to their reputation, and I've said many times, I think their response to this has been even worse than the problems themselves, and that has not changed, no matter how many weird quasi-apologies they make. So that's all I got to say about Cyberpunk for now. I did go in to test it out. I can't really tell any difference on PC, so I don't know. I'm going to keep it shelved for a while until they kind of add more meaningful improvements. And for now, it's back to Destiny, back to Genshin, and I'll be back with another video on something soon. So thanks for watching. I know maybe this isn't why you came here for Cyberpunk stuff, but I mean, if you follow my writing, you know I write about all sorts of stuff, so I'm going to translate at least some of that other video game coverage here. So thanks for watching regardless, and if you made it all the way here, yeah, that's great. I'll see you guys next time. Thanks a lot.